we have to start. We have to start with this conversation, especially because the Steelers just played, and I'm really excited to have this conversation because the video that came out had a headline that said that I claim the Pittsburgh Steelers are the most overrated team in the NFL. Now,
ridiculous statement.
I, by the way, disagreed.
First off, yes, right. And you came up with a team that doesn't matter.
I said the Eagles were the most overrated team in the NFL.
You have to be rated to be overrated. Anyways,
that's tough.
The Eagles were the favorite to win the NFC East all season.
They're one of the 5 worst. Anyways, okay. But no, everyone reads the word overrated. They think you say bad. They don't watch the video. I want to just give you my reasoning and then let you respond, and we'll debate from there. So,
gotcha.
My reasoning is as follows. Having watched a decent amount of talking heads on TV, I see a conversation recurring, which is, who's the best team in the NFL? Is it the Steelers or is it the Chiefs? And when I hear that, I go look at our power ratings. I go look at a bunch of different grades for quarterbacks. How good is the offense? And there is a clear tier of 1 with the Kansas City Chiefs, and then the Steelers, who I think you can make a very good case for either as the 2nd or 3rd best team in the NFL. So to me, that's an overrating of a team. Every other team in the NFL, you've got a cluster of maybe 2 through 9. You've got some teams in the middle, but there's no clearer delineation in my mind than the difference between the Chiefs and everybody else because of Patrick Mahomes and how good he is. And that to me is where the Steelers do have their biggest weakness. Now, they're a very good team. They're very deep, but their biggest weakness is that their passing game, while good, is not great. Ben Roethlisberger has the 20th best PFF grade. He's throwing the ball short and quick, which is efficient, and they've played the easiest schedule in the NFL thus far. So that can inflate your defensive stats a little bit. They're actually behind New Orleans and Los Angeles in yards per play allowed. They've had plenty of turnovers. And so I'm not saying that they're bad. I'm saying that they're 2nd or 3rd, but it's overrating them dramatically to put them in the conversation with Kansas City.
Wait, so you said they're 2nd or 3rd, but they're still overrated because, but Kansas City is just so far ahead of them.
Yeah. Don't you think, Darius, that's part of the condition is that if people were saying, like George, would you say the Pittsburgh Steelers would be overrated if they were the 2nd power-rated team in the NFL right now?
I would have to say, obviously, what would you say, George? You would say no, right? That's correct.
No, I mean, I have no problem with them being number 2. When I say overrated, I'm talking about someone,
Yeah, because I think people...
Well, I don't know. Maybe it's a confusing statement. When you see it, when you read it, it's like, hold on, wait. For me, especially, at this point in the season, you're 10-0. And, I don't care about, your strength of schedule. Yeah. I don't care about, a PFF grade for a quarterback. I don't care about any of that because I know and how tough it is to win ball games in the NFL, regardless of who you're playing. You've seen the Raiders went and played Atlanta last week thinking, I'm sure, that they were going to get the win by a score or 2, maybe no Julio, no Gurley. And they got blown out of the house. Like, it's the NFL. That can happen any week. So to come in with that target on your back all week, I'm kind of piggybacking off of last year, what they did last year, going 8-8 with, Duck Hodges and Mason Rudolph, and who knows what the hell their PFF grade was. But
it was 30. It was worst. They had the worst graded quarterbacks in the NFL last year.
Yeah.
See, and then you roll that over into this year and the leadership that they have in Mike Tomlin, and what happened earlier when they lost their bye week, and like a lot of that stuff can mess with you mentally. A lot of it isn't just X and O's. It is just ratings or grades. It's like, okay, how much BS can you deal with off the field? And you get on that field and you find a way to win. Even today, it was ugly. I expected a much larger, margin of victory, but it was ugly. But they found a way to win. So now you move to 11-0. I mean, you got to be in the argument. I can't say, without a shadow of a doubt, if Kansas City and Pittsburgh faced off in the AFC Championship, they faced off 2 weeks from now, I could just say, oh, yeah, book it. That's a Kansas City win. Like, you can't do it like that. Mahomes is great, but the way to beat a great quarterback like that, you get a 4-man rush, you keep him boxed in the pocket as much as possible, and then when he does throw balls out there that can be picked off or turned over, you turn them over, and that's what Pittsburgh does better than a lot of teams in the NFL right now. So for you to say overrated, with a team like that, because what the grades and the data and everything doesn't factor in is mental toughness.
I think that's really where the miscommunication is, right? Like, George, you're not saying they're bad.
No.
You're saying that it basically, there are a ton of talking heads that are saying Pittsburgh should be number one because they're undefeated. And like you and
I don't agree with that.
Yeah, you and I will say, and Darius, I'm assuming you'll agree, if those two teams faced each other on a neutral field, Kansas City would be favored by probably a field goal. And if New Orleans, so here's a question for you, Darius. If New Orleans has Breeze and is healthy and Pittsburgh is healthy and they play, let's say they play in the Super Bowl, who's favored in that game?
Ooh, that's a good one. I would go with New Orleans.
Okay.
With Drew Brees healthy, but that's a question mark at this point. So I would say, I would go with New Orleans just because their weapons are better. You look at the backfield, you look at Kamara, he's better than anything Pittsburgh has in the backfield. You look at Mike Thomas healthy. They got better weapons around them. So I would give New Orleans. The defense isn't that far off from Pittsburgh if they're playing well, but Pittsburgh consistently plays well. They consistently get after the quarterback. They consistently create turnovers. New Orleans kind of has some up and down on that defensive side. They do make plays, and they're talented as all get out. But I can see the Saints being slightly favored, maybe if Drew Brees is completely healthy.
So I think we've converged on basically the same point then, where I think our power rankings would all be Kansas City first, and a really close debate between New Orleans and Pittsburgh, and then no team after that. The NFC after New Orleans is pretty flat, right?
Thanks for watching the PFF YouTube channel, and if you want to subscribe, all you have to do is push the button. Don't forget everything you get. A little fantasy, push the button. A little green line for the gambling aspects of the game, push the button. College football, push the button. The YouTube channel from PFF.